Naomi and Simbarashe had been married for a little over 2 years. Their home in Gweru was peaceful, filled with the sound of their baby boy, Wellington, learning his first words. Their house was neat and well furnished, modern couches, a small dining table they had chosen together, curtains Naomi had proudly picked out after hours at the market. Their fridge always had food, and Naomi cooked with love. They weren't rich, but they weren't poor either. Life was comfortable, average, stable. And most days, that was enough. Simbarashe was a thoughtful man. He helped with the baby, prayed before bed, and always made Naomi laugh when she was moody. Naomi was beautiful and smart, the kind of woman who made people turn twice when she walked into a room. Together, they were a well-matched pair, growing, learning, adjusting. Then one Saturday, after church evangelism, they stopped at a grocery store. Naomi was reaching for Wellington's cereal when she heard a familiar voice behind her. "Naomi?" She turned and gasped, "Thelma." It was her old high school friend, Thelma, who had once shared desks and dreams with her. They hugged tightly, their laughter spilling out like it hadn't been years since they last spoke. Thelma offered them a lift home, and as Naomi sat in the passenger seat of Thelma's sleek car, she couldn't help but notice the smooth ride, the spotless dashboard, the subtle scent of perfume that clung to the leather seats. They began visiting each other more often. Naomi and Wellington would sometimes spend the afternoon at Thelma's house. It was a spacious home in a gated community with a tiled driveway and garden lights that flickered on as the sun set. The kitchen had marble countertops and stainless steel appliances. Every room smelled like candles and comfort. One afternoon, as they sat sipping iced juice in tall glasses, Naomi couldn't help but notice the sparkling necklace around Thelma's neck. "That necklace is stunning," Naomi said, leaning in for a closer look. Thelma smiled, touching it gently. "Thank you. James got it for me last week. He just surprised me out of nowhere." "Wow," Naomi murmured, trying to smile. "He's really thoughtful." "He is. He says I deserve nice things. Sometimes I think he spoils me too much," Thelma said with a soft laugh, twisting the pendant in her fingers. Naomi laughed too, but inside, something small cracked. At home, Naomi served lunch as usual, rice, chicken stew, and vegetables. It was a good meal. But that evening, she caught herself comparing the simplicity of their plates to the way Thelma's kitchen had looked, or the necklace that still glittered in her mind. She didn't say anything that night. But something inside her had shifted. Over the next few weeks, Naomi found herself noticing more. Thelma's baby blue nails. Her pearl earrings. Her phone. Her laughter. And then Naomi started noticing what she didn't have. One evening, she sat at the edge of the bed while Simbarashe rocked Wellington to sleep. "Simba," she said quietly, "don't you ever feel like we're meant for more?" He paused, still patting Wellington's back. "More? Like, more than this? A better car? A bigger house? New furniture, not second-hand?" Simbarashe frowned. "Naomi, we have what we need. We're not struggling. We've been blessed." "Yes, but don't you want a better life?" "We have a good life," he said, gently. "We may not have luxury, but we have peace. Love. A healthy son." Naomi didn't answer. But in her heart, the seed of dissatisfaction grew. She began to change. Her smiles were shorter. Her conversations cooler. She sighed more often when she cleaned. She criticized little things, the size of their wardrobe, the noise their car made, how the curtains were outdated. Simbarashe noticed. He started working longer hours, trying to make her happy. He saved and surprised her with a newer car. It wasn't fancy, but it was clean and reliable. Naomi took the keys with a quiet, "Thank you." But later, she told a friend, "It still looks like a city council car." Simbarashe was crushed. He didn't say much. But that night, he sat outside on the veranda, staring at the stars. His chest ached, not from lack, but from rejection. One afternoon, Naomi was in the kitchen when she heard a knock at the door. She opened it to find Thelma standing there, eyes red and swollen with tears. "Thelma." Naomi's voice trembled. "What happened? Are you okay?" Thelma shook her head as tears streamed down her cheeks. "Can I come in?" she asked, barely above a whisper. Naomi stepped aside quickly. "Of course, come in. Sit down." Thelma sank into the couch, her hands shaking. Naomi sat beside her, heart pounding. "It's my husband, Naomi," Thelma finally said, her voice breaking. "He's been unfaithful." Naomi froze. "What?" Thelma wiped her tears, but they kept coming. "I just found out. I'm pregnant, Naomi. And I'm HIV positive." Naomi's breath caught in her throat. "No. Thelma, no. And that's not all," Thelma continued. He's been sleeping with our maid. She's pregnant too." Naomi gasped, unable to speak. "All those gifts I showed you," Thelma whispered bitterly. "The necklace you complimented. The dinners, the shopping sprees. Naomi, they weren't love. They were apologies. Apologies I didn't even know I was accepting." Naomi sat there, speechless, tears now filling her own eyes. Naomi looked down, ashamed. "Thelma. I've been so wrong. I admired your life so much, I stopped appreciating my own. I stopped seeing Simbarashe for who he is." Thelma reached for her hand. "Don't make the same mistake I did, don't lose a good man because you're chasing an illusion. You already have what I've been crying for." Naomi nodded slowly, her heart aching with conviction. "Thank you for telling me. I needed to hear this more than you know." Weeks passed, but then, slowly, Naomi started to change. One Sunday afternoon, after they came home from church, she quietly helped him take off his jacket. "You look nice today," she said. Simbarashe blinked. "Thank you." Later that week, she packed his lunch with an extra snack and a handwritten note that read, "I see you. I appreciate you." At night, she began praying again, not rushed prayers, but slow, quiet ones. She even cried once, alone in the kitchen, as she scrubbed dishes and whispered, "Lord, help me to see what I already have." Simbarashe noticed the softness in her tone. The way she looked at Wellington now with more tenderness. How she lingered in conversations instead of brushing them off. One evening, they sat together on the couch, watching Wellington play with building blocks. "You're different lately," Simbarashe said gently. Naomi turned to him. "I've been thinking a lot. Thelma came by recently. She's pregnant." But Naomi's voice broke. "She's also HIV positive. Her husband has been cheating for years. The mansion, the vacations, it's all been her way of hiding pain. When she told me, I couldn't speak. I felt ashamed." She wiped a tear. "I had been envying her life, while you were here giving me a faithful love, a peaceful home, and a life many would pray for. And I was blind." "I'm sorry, Simba," she said, eyes full of tears. "For not seeing you, for wanting more, when we already had what truly matters." Simbarashe looked at her, his expression unreadable. "Please forgive me," Naomi whispered, her voice trembling. Simbarashe gently took her hand. "Sweetheart, I noticed the change. I thought I wasn't doing enough. That's why I took some of the savings and bought a new car. I thought it would make you happy. But you still weren't. I realized then that talking about it might only add more problems, not solve them, because you looked so unhappy. He paused, his thumb brushing her knuckles. So instead, I gave it all to God. I prayed that He would open your eyes, that He'd remind you of the prayers we once made together, of what we really wanted. Naomi broke down, her tears falling freely now. Simbarashe continued softly, I'm just grateful that God answered my prayer. Thank you for being patient with me, Simba, Naomi said, her voice cracking. We thank God. All the glory to Him, Simbarashe replied. Do you forgive me? She asked, her eyes searching his. Not until you kiss me, he teased, pulling her into his arms. Naomi laughed through her tears, stood up, and hugged him tightly. Thank you, Simba, she whispered. Simbarashe pulled back slightly and grinned. Is that what you call a kiss in your language? Naomi laughed louder this time and bit him playfully on the shoulder. You're impossible. Baby Wellington, seated on the carpet with his toys, looked up and watched his two parents chasing each other around the room, giggling like teenagers. For once, their home wasn't just furnished with couches and curtains, it was full of joy. Simbarashe caught her, held her hand again, and whispered, I forgive you. We grow. We learn. Naomi nodded. This time, I'll grow with gratitude. Lesson. Dear reader, don't let comparison blur your vision. You may not have a mansion or a luxury car, but if you have love, peace, and someone who stays through the storms, you are already rich. A peaceful home is worth more than a glamorous life filled with secret sorrow. Just like it is said in the book of Proverbs 17 verse 1. Better a dry crust with peace and quiet than a house full of feasting, with strife. Transformative Stories by Fungai. Please like,